ladies and gentlemen. Kentucky already got a bad enough reputation from the Breonna Taylor case and your attorney general, Cameron, for making sure she can't even get justice. No, that should be a crime right there. And what should also be a crime is the fact that these cops got qualified immunity. So they are trying to pass this lame ass bill that says it's a crime to insult police officers. No, it's a crime that you got qualified immunity. That's the biggest crime of them all. So this is March 5th, 2021. Kentucky would, this bill would make it a crime for you to insult police officers. What a waste of time. This shouldn't even be considered at all. Because, what they're going to ultimately do, ladies and gentlemen, is go out on the street, interact with a black person, claim you insulted them when you didn't insult them, and you get arrested. That's what they're going to do. They're going to lie and say you did it. You're just giving them more ammunition to use against the black community when you pass something like this. A bill advancing in the Kentucky Senate committee. So this was on Thursday. It would make it a crime to insult or taunt a police officer to the point where the taunts provoke a violent response. But they're not going to use it like that. They're going to just use it at you interacting with them, and they just grab you and arrest you and claim you, insulted them. We know how y'all weaponize these laws, and we know just from the exoneration, you'll gladly put an innocent person in jail. America does it all the time. So the Senate Bill 211 passed by 7-3 vote. According to reports, the proposal was a response to riots throughout the country last summer, and said the bill's sponsor, but you notice how they're all ignoring the Capitol insurrection? They're all ignoring that, and they're only concerned about the George Floyd protest last summer. That's what they're concerning themselves over, these bills. So the proposal was a response to the riots throughout the country last summer, said the bill's sponsor, Danny Carroll Benton. And it says that, that this is what these police want. So in these riots, you see people getting up in police faces, yelling in their ears, and doing anything they can to provoke a violent response, Carroll said, according to the Louisville Courier-Journal. So getting up in a cop's face and yelling, I wonder if they see that as bad as peeing and pooping and smearing poop all over the Capitol. You think they see that as the equivalent? I'm just wondering. I'm not saying that officers do that, but there has to be a provision within the statute to allow officers to react to that, because that does nothing but incite those around them in the vicinity, and it further escalates this riotous behavior. Really? Weren't they yelling in the face of those officers up at the Capitol? It's mind-blowing that they keep coming up with these bills, but they completely exclude what happened at the Capitol, y'all. Based on the George Floyd protest, but not the Capitol. Louisville, Kentucky's largest city, saw numerous instances of unrest last year over the lack of criminal charges against police officers in connection with the death of Breonna Taylor, who was fatally shot March 13th, 2020, during a police raid inside her home. Carroll noted that the bill wasn't about limiting lawful protests in any way, form, or fashion. Yes, but your cops will go out there and still do it on peaceful protesters. This country was built on lawful protests. No, yeah, well, y'all have a problem when certain people are out there protesting. And it's something that we must maintain, our citizens' right to do so. What this deals with are those who cross the line and commit criminal acts, he said. Really? Where's the bill for the Capitol then? Those folks crossed the line and they looted the Capitol. They went in there with weapons and zip ties and 5 people were killed. 5 people were killed. Now, I remember the protest being massive last summer, but I don't recall when they first went out there, 5 people got killed. Didn't see that. The bill kept language making a person guilty of disorderly conduct, a Class B misdemeanor. If they cross, insult, taunt, or accost or challenge a law enforcement officer with offensive and derisive words, or by gestures or other physical contact, that would have a direct tendency to provoke a violent response from the perspective of a reasonable or prudent person. Senator David Yates, a Louisville Democrat, criticized the bill's language, saying police officers he knows are too professional to retaliate violently simply because of words, according to the paper. That's not true. And you know why they talk like that? Because they don't have to deal with the police in the same manner that the Black community deal with them. So it's easy to say, oh, well, the police ain't going to do nothing just from words. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Because they know no matter what they do to us, they're not going to be in trouble. And as long as you got qualified immunity, they don't have to follow any guidelines when they're out there dealing with us. You already gave them a pat on the back and told them it's okay to do whatever. I don't believe that any of my good officers, whatever, are going to be provoked in a violent response because somebody does a yo mama joke or whatnot, Yates say. Again, this is a white person that is not dealing with the police in the same manner of the Black community. Meanwhile, Corey Shapiro, an attorney for the ACLU of Kentucky, said the idea that the legislature would be criminalizing speech in a way that is offensive. So what they're trying to do, really, ultimately, doesn't this trample on the First Amendment, freedom of speech? Because what you're saying is, I have to control what you say to police and pass this bill. And that is, a step on freedom of speech by passing this sort of bill. Period. It is. Okay, verbally challenging police action, even if by insult or offensive language, is the cornerstone of our democracy, Shapiro told the Courier Journal. And the First Amendment protects people's ability to express themselves, even if it's using offensive words to the police. Yeah, so I don't know how you can get this through, and you got a constitution that says you have freedom of speech. I think this could be heavily challenged. For real. Okay, so other provisions in SB 11 would push back against the defund the police movement and make a person who knowingly provides supplies at a riot, like they did up at the Capitol, can be used as a weapon or dangerous instrument, subject to a riot in the second degree charge. Isn't it? Well, how come y'all got these on the books and you're not talking like this when it comes down to the insurrection? I'm just saying. Governmental entities responsible for the funding of the various law enforcement agencies shall maintain and improve their respective financial support to the Commonwealth law enforcement agency, the bill states. But, didn't Daniel Cameron support the insurrection? He did. If you go out there and look at I believe by the next day or so of the insurrection, he supported it. So how can you support an insurrection, but you're for this kind of bill? Very interesting. The legislation that advanced also removed previous controversial language that would make it a crime to camp overnight on campground state property. The bill will now go to the full Senate and could be passed by early next week, though not much time will remain in the 30-day session to also make it through the House, according to the paper. So there you have it. They are saying you cannot insult a cop in Kentucky. You could be slapped with a crime. And we know how these cops roll. They'll approach a Black person, get something started, and then claim they got insulted and arrested. They're just going to weaponize it against the Black community in Kentucky. So y'all better watch out for this law, because you best believe when it gets enforced, you're going to see it getting heavily enforced on Black people. That's what they're going to do. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.